And US Vice President Kamala Harris met with Singapore's Prime Minister and will meet with the country's president as she kicks off a visit to Southeast Asia focused on strengthening ties with key allies in the region. This is going to be a challenge for Kamala Harris at a time when the United States' status as a global superpower is being questioned after the US troop pullout and the resulting chaos in Afghanistan. Harris is the second member of the US President Joe Biden's cabinet to visit the Southeast Asian country. Harris will hold a series of meetings to discuss supply chain issues with representatives from the private sector and the government. The US Vice President will also visit the Changi Naval Base, where she'll address US sailors aboard the visiting USS Tulsa. She will also join a virtual meeting of Southeast Asian officials, which will focus on the coronavirus pandemic.
We discussed the importance of working together to end this pandemic, but also to prevent future pandemics. Singapore's approach to managing the pandemic has been commendable, but we all must do more to not only end the current pandemic, but to invest in what we know will be more. From day one, President Biden has been clear about the importance of vaccinating people in the United States against COVID-19 and our commitment to being an arsenal of vaccines for the world. That is why we have provided millions of vaccine doses to countries within Southeast Asia.
Harris's trip aims to counter China's growing influence in Southeast Asia region Washington considers key to checking Chinese expansion. A senior White House official told Reuters this month that Vice President's focus would be on defending international rules in the South China Sea, strengthening U.S. regional leadership and expanding security cooperation. Singapore is the anchor of the U.S. naval presence in Southeast Asia and has a deep trade partnership with the United States. However, the country also seeks to maintain strong ties with China and a position of neutrality amid increasing frosty U.S.-China relations.
The U.S. is a partner nation in Singapore's newly established multilateral counterterrorism information facility. We discussed these issues with Vice President Harris, and on Afghanistan specifically, I mentioned to Vice President that we knew that the U.S. was conducting an evacuation operation of refugees from Afghanistan, and Singapore would like to offer to the U.S. the use of the RSAF's, Republic of Singapore Air Forces, Airbus 330 multi-role tanker and transporter aircraft in order to help with the airlift. Our defense cooperation goes back many decades. Singapore has one of the largest foreign training presences in the U.S.
This is her second overseas trip since assuming office. Kamala Harris will also become the first U.S. Vice President to visit Vietnam when she arrives there on Tuesday. Her trip to Southeast Asia comes at a time when China is challenging U.S. political sway and naval dominance in the Indo-Pacific region. U.S. Navy regularly conducts freedom of navigation exercises in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. A White House official told AFP that Southeast Asia remains strategically important for Washington, and that hasn't changed with Afghanistan. The 10-country region is growing battleground for influence between the United States and China. Washington has repeatedly criticized Beijing's expansive claims to almost the entire South China Sea. Southeast Asian nations including Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Vietnam and Taiwan have all rejected China's expansionist claims to resource-rich region. Kamala Harris's Vietnam leg, however, has sparked criticism. The Afghanistan crisis has prompted comparisons with the trauma of 1975 Saigon, when U.S. helicopters ferried final evacuees from the embassy roof. As Viet Cong troops advanced, U.S. officials, though, insist the Vietnam trip was planned long before the Afghan debacle. Analysts believe, despite the Afghanistan debacle, U.S. cannot afford to ignore Southeast Asia. Mustafa Izzuddin, a senior international affairs analyst, an analyst consultancy Solar Strategies, Singapore says, I'm quoting here, following the previous administration and what's happening in Afghanistan, it is a categorical imperative for the US to build up political trust in this region. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.